Good morning, students of standard 6. Welcome in day 11. In previous class, in day 10, I have solved objective questions, short questions, very short answer questions. So today I will solve long answer question of chapter 10, motion and measurement of distance. So kindly request to all of you, please sit with pen and notebook. Let us see long question answer. Question number G, long answer type questions. Okay, and question 1 is, what are the units used to measure different types of length? What are the units used to measure different types of length? I have taught you the units which are used to measure different types of length are millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, kilometer. These are the units to measure length. Okay. Now second question, how are they related to each other? They are related to each other in the following ways. 10 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. 10 centimeter is equal to 1 decimeter. 10 decimeter is equal to 1 meter. 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 1000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. Okay. Now let us see question number 2. Question number 2. What is the difference between periodic motion and non-periodic motion? Explain with the help of examples. Okay. So, periodic motions. The motions which repeat themselves at a regular interval of time are called periodic motion. As for example, the motion of the pendulum, it moves continuously to and fro motion. So it is an example of periodic motion. Another example is motion of the hands of a clock. Okay, the motion of hands of a clock moves continuously. So it is an example of periodic motion. Okay. Now let us see non-periodic motion. The motions which do not repeat themselves at a regular interval of time. That means the object moves but not in regular interval of time. Such type of motion is called non-periodic motion. As for example, heartbeat. Our heartbeat continuously inside our body, but it is not in fixed interval of time. So it is an example of non-periodic motion. Whereas another example is pulse movement in our body. Pulse movement is also an example of non-periodic motion. Okay, let us see question number 3. Now see question number 3. Why do we need to know about the distance? Okay, why do we need to know about the distance? I have taught this topic. We need to know about the distance due to following reason. Reason 1, the selection of the types of transport to go to any place depends all upon the distance we need to cover. That means suppose that we want to travel short distance, then we will use bicycle or rickshaw. We want to travel large distance, we use to bus or train. We want to travel very large distance, then we will use to aeroplane. Okay. So again, the selection of right amount of seeds to be sown when a farmer needs to know the size of his field. That means before sowing the seeds, farmer want to know about the right measurement of his field, because the right amount of seeds can be purchased from the market when he knows the right measurement of his field. Okay. Third point is, a tailor needs to know our height and size before sewing the clothes of our fitting. That means when we go to tailor to sewing our shirt, our clothes, okay, then tailor first of all take our measurement. So these are more examples maybe happen, but here there are 3 examples is sufficient. Okay, so we need to know about the distance due to following reason. Okay. Now let us see question number 4. See question number 4. Describe the method used to measure by a scale. That means explain the methods used to measure by a scale. Okay. Method used to measure by a scale. The following methods. There are 5 steps to measure by a scale. First step is the numbers written on the scale must be clearly visible to measure a length. That means your scale should be neat and clean, and the number digits should be mentioned on the scale will be clearly visible, must be clearly visible. Step 2, the scale should be kept correctly along with the object to be measured in centimeter. That means you will put the scale on the object correctly. Okay. Now step 3 is there is a zero marking on the left scale. Okay. There is zero marking. I have taught in measurement of distance. You will take instrument of distance. Scales at the end of the scale, first end of the scale, 0 is marking at the last end left side of the scale. Okay. So third step is there is a 0 marking on the left scale. While measuring anything, the 0 marking of the scale must coincide with one end of the thing to be measured. That means the things which you will measure with the help of a scale, the first end of that object must be coincide with the 0 marking of the scale. Step 4, 0 is the starting point. 0 marking is the starting point for the object, while the point at which the length of the object ends, it is the end point to measure. Okay. Last point is if 0 marking is not visible, suppose that 0 is not clearly visible or broken the scale. In this case, take any of the point, say 3. Suppose that you will start with point 3. Okay. If 0 is not visible, 0 marking is not visible due to any reason, then you will start with, suppose that like point 3, 4, just like. Okay. So suppose that say point 3 as the starting point, and note the end point, and the length of that object is end at point 9. Then the actual measurement will be 9 minus 3. Initial starting 0 marking is 3 here. Okay. So actual measurement is final reading minus initial reading. Final reading is 9. Initial reading is 3. That means 9 minus 3, 6 centimeter. Okay. Today I have solved 4 long questions. Okay. And now today's I have finished chapter 10, motion and measurement of distance. In next class I will come with new topics. Okay. So this is time for given homework. So write down your homework. Hello students, see here. This is your homework. Question 1, differentiate between number 1, revolving and rotatory motion. Second, differentiate between rectilinear or curvilinear motion. Third one is rest and motion, and last one is uniform and non-uniform motion. Okay. So you will do these questions at your home, and I hope you have understand the all topics of chapter 10, motion and measurement of distance clearly. Today's class is over. Thanks to all of you to listen me. Have a nice day.